Task constraints are conditions or limitations that you place on the start or the finish date of a task in the project. For example, like writing the content. I could put a constraint on there that says start no earlier than a certain date or finish no later than a certain date. Once you constrain that task, it's going to have an effect on your project's flexibility. For example, if I say that I can start this task no earlier than, instead of the natural date here, it wants to start as it continues on from its predecessor, is to start on the 25th. What if because of budget, funding, costs, or resources, I cannot start this any earlier than, let's say, September the 1st? I can put a constraint on this task, so no matter what I do up here, whether I finish way early, I can't start this any earlier than September the 1st. So even if I throw more resources at this, more workers to help complete this earlier, it doesn't matter. As far as the project end date goes, this is stuck on September the 1st, which it'll affect all successors. Now, successors, if we're lucky, can probably finish earlier and help close up the project date or bring it in a little bit sooner, but you can see how limiting that can be. But nonetheless, if you feel it's important that you need to do it, then go ahead and I'll show you how to do it. Double-click on the task, go to the Advanced tab, and then down here the default for the constraint type is as soon as possible. You can change that default, see all the others like finish no earlier than a certain date, but let's do start no earlier than, and then come over here and define what that date is. For example, I'm going to move this down. It's starting on, again, August the 25th. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it can start no earlier than September the 1st and hit enter. And you can see that change is affecting all these tasks that have been shaded, their start and finish dates, including the overall project date. Now it's been pushed out. Scroll over, now it's going out to October the 15th. So you can see over here in the Gantt chart that because we have a start no earlier than, we've got all this lag or delay time. So these tasks, sure, they've got some lag time here, we can push them out a bit, but the limitation comes in if these tasks finish earlier, it doesn't matter because this task can start no earlier than that date. So the project's still going to finish by this date unless, of course, we can complete that task earlier or that one and then bring it in more. I found myself in a couple of projects where I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm throwing all these resources at it, how come the end date's not moving like my boss wants me to have it move or bring it in closer? Now remember that we have a task constraint. In fact, one of the easiest ways you can tell if there's a constraint on a task is to come over here in the indicator column in the table entry, and there's your little indicator. Hover over it and it tells you that there's a task constraint that has no earlier date than September the 1st. Another way you can view this is by using the task drivers. Task drivers will reveal the information on factors affecting the start date of the selected task. So let me turn on the task drivers, come up here, click on the project menu and go down and click on task drivers. It opens up the task pane. Come down here and select the task that you want to see what's affecting its start date, and you can see right here it's a constraint, no earlier than September the 1st. Go to another task and it says for modifying outline, its predecessor, review, subject matter experts, is affecting its start date, because as soon as this one's done, the review with subject matter experts, then we can go ahead and start the modify outline. In any case, it's another way of looking at it. Close out of there. And then finally, if you want to be able to get rid of the task constraint and you don't have your undo button, just go ahead and double click on it to open it up. Go to your Advanced tab. Instead of start no earlier than or whatever you set it to, the default would be to do it as soon as possible. And the constraint date, make sure you don't miss this. You got to get rid of that constraint date and then type in NA and hit enter, and good. We're back to completing on time, at least what my boss wants, which is October the 8th. Now I've got all the flexibility. I throw resources up here, these tasks are down below. It'll bring them in. The more workers I add, the sooner we can complete it and not have those constraint dates. Again, only use a constraint if it's absolutely necessary, and as a good example, if you're not going to get funding by a certain date or have workers available by a specific date, then obviously it would make sense to have a constraint. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.